Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Design Bites by Ladies at UX Amsterdam. And you can see here the people behind the scenes, me and Ilgas, who will be uh, checking all of your questions today. So stay tuned.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Sorry. Today's topic is designing your UX career with intention by Goodness Adebayo. We are very happy to be also sharing this event with our friends from Ladies That UX Lisbon. If you have any questions during this talk, right there is a Q&A Slido where you can ask everything. We will monitor and then we'll get to the questions at the end of the talk. And a little bit about our communities before we kick this off. Ladies That UX Amsterdam and Lisbon are only two chapters out of 90, which are part of a global network across more than 50 countries. We are a nonprofit community committed to fostering a safe and inclusive space for women in user experience. We create events just like this one and also offline events. We connect, collaborate, and thrive through that. We give talks, panel discussions, presentations, or anything UX related. We also have a lot of resources that we share on our socials, so definitely follow us for that. And before further ado, I will give the floor to Goodness, who's going to give the talk today. Oh, sorry. Hi, Goodness. I think we're not able to hear you, Goodness. Sorry, everyone. We're doing it live. This is how it is. Can you try again? Oh, we're still not hearing you. I don't know what's happening. Should we restart? Do we want to refresh? Let's try. Everyone, we get technical difficulties constantly, but this is why we love doing these events live at all times, because it keeps us on our toes. Hi, Goodness, can we hear you? Oh, we still can't hear you. No. Guys, we tested this literally 15 minutes before the beginning. We tested it, everything worked. Can you check if you can see a different output? Still nothing. Oh no. Yeah, we're trying, everyone. In the meantime, we have 26 people currently watching us. How about you give a shout in the comments? Where are you tuning in from? Are you part of our chapter or the Lisbon chapter, maybe another chapter? Tell us a little bit about yourselves. Don't be shy. We will have a discussion about also the insights after this event. So definitely join our Amsterdam UX Sorry, ladies the 2X Amsterdam group, community group. Definitely join us there so we can continue the discussion on this topic after the event as well. Portugal, yes, Amsterdam. Nice, nice. Oh, South Africa. That's exciting. India as well. Wow. We're becoming very international. That's super cool. By the way, if this sounds a little bit strange, we do have a few seconds delay. So that's why I'm a little bit late with responding to your comments. Ireland, how cool is that? Isn't it cool, Ilgaz, that we have so many people from around the world joining us today?
Yeah, sure. I was also thinking, hey, I'm actually from it's not Amsterdam. I live in Sweden, but it doesn't matter actually. Yeah, from the international point of view.
Yeah, also, if you are from an interesting city around the world, please let us know.
We don't only want to see the capitals.
Exactly. No, not all capitals.
But now we're already 28 people.
Indeed, indeed. The number is rising.
Oh yeah, also for the ones in Amsterdam, we are gonna have another event actually very soon next Tuesday at Deloitte Digital. That is one of our offline events. It's like series of ladies that UX monthly. So if your agenda is free and if you wanna continue your learning on UX, then just please sign up the event. It's gonna be on Tuesday, so on the 10th of June at Deloitte Digital. You can find the event link on our LinkedIn page.
Indeed, indeed. And I don't want to spoil it way too much, but the topics will be nice and depthy.
Yeah,
We don't get that a lot, so we're very excited for that.
yeah, for sure. Especially if you have an ambition in inclusive design, accessibility, and overall, actually, like inclusivity in design in general. I think it's gonna be amazing.
Indeed, indeed. And, keeping in mind that the accessibility legislations are now changing from June, I believe it was. Or,
Again,
yes,
after last year, yeah. Oh wow.
Um, and they're going to be becoming more strict in the Netherlands. So it's also very exciting for us. There's going to be new changes that maybe some of us have been waiting for a while.
Yeah,
So
it's for
excited.
the better, I guess.
Hey, goodness, we have sound.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great.
But now we don't have video. Oh, now
Okay,
we have videos.
Okay, I think we're back
it
now.
worked.
Okay.
Okay, could you share your screen and we will kick this off?
Yeah, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do that right now. Just give me a minute to share my
No
screen.
problem. Does Almere count as interesting? Yes, Sharon, definitely. Almere is a great spot. I see Leiden, Rotterdam as well. So we have some people from around the country. Nice. Thank you all for joining us. 29 people now, still going up.
That was amazing, despite the technical difficulties.
No. We are flexible and adaptable. We have to think on our feet. Sometimes things happen. Also in our offline events, but that's okay. We own it and we move on.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
sometimes we should prepare like some silly jokes for these kinds of
yeah,
moments.
exactly. Just to kill the time. Now we are waiting.
If
No,
you
I feel like yeah, I don't know, this like music yeah, music shows like back in MTV, and they were just constantly talking a lot of stuff and everything. So I feel like now I am like that person trying to improv and like reading the messages. Hey, this person is from here and everything.
it's for real live stream now, indeed.
Yeah.
Also, since we said silly jokes, please do write us your jokes in the comments. We will read them out loud live. Any dad jokes, can be very silly. We are not taking ourselves way too serious in this community. We are very professional, but we're just not taking ourselves serious. We're having fun. It's all about having fun at the end with whatever we do, whatever brings us energy. If you have any
Oh yeah.
ideas or feedback for us, also drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Or DM us, always possible. Ah, goodness, we have your screen share. Can we hear you?
Yes,
Okay, great.
video, sun,
Okay,
screen. We are
Okay.
everybody, enough of our silliness. Goodness is starting her talk.
Okay. Okay. So yes, once again, thank you so much for having me, and I'm truly honored to be speaking at the Ladies That UX Amsterdam. It's always special to be in a room with other women who truly cares about growing in their career and in their field, and I'm really honored to be here. So today we are going to be talking on designing your UX career with intention. What does that really mean? I mean, your career is your most important design project, and you get to decide what success looks like in your own career. I mean, we get on projects to design for projects and all of that, but in most cases, we forget about growing in our career and even designing for our own career. And that's one thing that we are going to be looking at today. So, for the sake of introduction, my name is Goodness, and I am a product designer. I am also a mentor, and I am the founder of Mentorship with Goodness. Mentorship with Goodness is a program that helps aspiring designers break into tech with clarity and confidence. And before all of this, I was a baker, literally. Yes, like really, I was a baker. I started out with baking, and but I've always wanted more, right? I've always been curious about how things worked, how people think, and you know
Oh, yes,
can you
you're
hear me?
back.
Please let me know if you can hear me.
All good. You can continue. We can hear you.
Can you
Yes.
hear me? Okay, okay, great, great. Okay, so yeah, before all of that, I've always wanted more. I've always been curious about how things work, how people think, and how we make everyday experiences better. And that was when, like, I, discovered UX design. I just wanted to design graphics for my baking business. Like I said, I transitioned from being a baker to a UX designer. So I just wanted to, learn how to design graphics for my baking business, and that was how I found UX design. And from then till now, I've been curious about the field, and still designing and working in that part, right? I made a decision to, be very intentional about my journey. When I made the decision to become a UX designer, I wanted to build a career that felt like me. So I drew out a roadmap. I drew out exactly how I wanted it to be. Have a portfolio, get internship, get a role. I wrote out things I needed to do to get all of these done as well. So literally, that was how, like, I was able to draw out a roadmap for myself in the UX career in my field. So from then till now, I've been privileged to work with clients across the globe designing digital products. I've been a guest on international podcasts, sharing my journey and my design insights as well. I've also been a speaker both locally and internationally at conferences. And like I said before, I'm the founder of Mentorship with Goodness, where we help entry level designers grow in their career. So that's enough introduction about me. Let's get back to why we're here today. The noise in the UX industry. Let's talk about the noise in the UX industry, right? I mean, it can feel very overwhelming sometimes. The UX space is filled with opportunities, but also so much noise. There is advice everywhere, right? Boot camps, job boards, LinkedIn wins. You just get on LinkedIn and you're seeing somebody talking about how they just landed maybe like 2 to 3 roles this month, and you're there thinking about how you're even still trying to learn something new. Everyone is telling you what to do, and if you're not careful, you start feeling like you are already behind, right? So you need to be very intentional about what success looks like to you and stick to it. We all want success, but the question is, who defines the success that we're using? What defines success for you? Who defines what success is to you? Because not every job title, client, or shiny project is meant for you. So you have to be very intentional about what success looks like to you and not jump on like every trend that is out there. So let's talk about treating your career like a UX project, right? Start thinking about your career like a UX project. Who are the users, right? Or who is the user? The user is you. The user is you. You are the one that you're building your career. What are your goals? These are things that we do when we want to get on UX projects, right? And these are things that we should put into consideration when we're thinking about our career, or like when you're thinking about your career. What problem are you trying to solve? In this UX field that you are in, what problem are you trying to solve? Make it very personal to you. Don't jump on every trend or like everything that looks shiny and all of that. What constraints are you working with? Because your journey is personal to you, your time, your energy, your location, and all of that. I would always say that, for my LinkedIn and for showing up, most of the time I create time during the weekend to like schedule my post and all of that. But for you, weekend might be very busy for you. As busy as Monday is to every other person, your Mondays might be free. So put all of this into consideration when you're writing out and drafting out your own personal roadmap in your career. Yes, you can finally be the user. When you're drafting out your roadmap for your career, because it is meant for you, it is personal to you. Don't let somebody's win on like LinkedIn or somebody's success make you feel like you're behind, because your journey is personal to you. You didn't start when they started, you're not going to the same place, so don't get distracted along the journey. And another thing you need to ask yourself is, what does success look like to you, right? What does success look like to you? When I succeed, when I tell myself I have succeeded in this career, what would it look like for me? Is it getting a job at a particular company? Is it the ability to help other people grow in this career? Is it helping clients scale their product, right? Know exactly what success would look like to you, so that you don't get distracted by a lot of noise that is out there. Let's move forward. Okay, so let's look at a framework that you can work with. Research. Just like you research for every product, how can you do this for yourself? You self-reflect, because you're building for yourself. You self-reflect, like I said before. Know your constraints, know your timeline, know your energy. Some people are like morning people. I always say it, I'm not a morning person. So some people are morning people. They can work so much in the morning, and they are able to achieve so much in the morning. If that's the kind of person you are able to plan according to that. Do so much work in the morning. If you're somebody that likes to work at night, I always say it, I get distracted very easily. So it's not like easy for me to work during the day, because I mean, for everything that is going around, I'm just looking like what's happening there, and also I get pretty distracted during the day. If I'm trying to put in deep work during the day, I would most likely definitely fail at it. I work better at night, right? I work better at night when everybody is asleep, when there is no distraction and all of that. So know what works for you, self-reflect, know what works for you, know when you can do the deep work, know when you can show up, know exactly what works for you. That's how you research on yourself, right? Do the research for yourself, because you're building a career for yourself. Wireframe, what does that mean when it comes to you building your own career? Trying out small projects, seeing the one that you like, seeing what exactly works for you. For somebody like me, when I started out in the UX design field, I was designing more of restaurant applications. I was designing more of coffee ordering application. Why? Because I was transitioning from the baking field, and these are things that like intrigue me and makes me want to design. So find those things that would make you want to design and stick to it. That would help you be able to scale faster and work faster. If I'd probably started with like a SaaS product, or like I'm trying to design dashboard when I started out, I would most likely always feel maybe left behind or be confused. But because I was transitioning from being a baker to a UX designer, I found like the leveling point where I was able to design something that I already had like a lot of knowledge about. So that's how you wireframe your career, if that's a thing. Then iterate, learn and adapt, learn new things, adapt to new things. Something like even tools are changing every day, so learn and adapt, learn the new things. Figma just released a whole bunch of new updates. Learn the new things, adapt to them. You can't stick to what was happening 2 years ago. You have to learn every day and adapt to new things every day. So I wrote here, your career isn't a straight line. It's a product, and you're the designer. Just like we all know, there is no product that is completely done. There is no product that is completely done. Every product is iterating every day, checking users, knowing what they want, and they're improving it every day. That's the same thing with your career. You have to, improve on it every day. You have to learn every day. You have to. It's not a straight line. You have to see what. Connection. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're back. I think
Am I
we can hear
back? Can you
you.
hear me?
Yes, is it good? Can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Oh, well, here we are again
We're back again.
for a very short break. Ah, goodness is back. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, okay. I was asking where I was.
Just share your
Okay,
screen again.
okay, okay. That's fine. Okay. Can you hear me now? All good now.
All good.
Okay, great. So yeah, as I was saying, your career is not like is not a straight line. It's a product, and you are the designer. You have to keep iterating on it and keep improving it every day as you go. So yeah, the power of let's talk about the power of intentionality. When it comes to your career, you have to be very intentional. So to create a personal UX roadmap for your career. Okay. Okay. Um, to create a personal UX roadmap for your career, you have to start by showing up. The first thing you need to do is to show up. Show up everywhere: LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Let people know what you're working on, let people know what you're doing. Like I always say, the people that you're looking to hire you are probably not your neighbors, are probably not in the corners of, you know, your house and all of that. So you have to show up, start showing up, start talking about the things that you're learning. That's the best way to, let people know what you're doing and also grow in the field. Start positioning yourself for opportunities. If you don't show up, there is no way you'll be able to position yourself for opportunities, and there is no way people are going to know you. I mean, I'm in Nigeria right now. I am like an example of that. I'm in Nigeria right now, and I'm speaking at Ladies That UX Amsterdam. If I don't show up, there is no way they would know me. There is no way you would get to meet me today. So you need to show up. I get this a lot, like, oh, I'm an introvert and everything. You need to learn how to show up. That's one thing you need to learn when it comes to building your career. That's showing up, knowing how to show up, knowing how to put things out there so that people get to know you and you're able to position yourself for that success that you're looking for in your career. Stay consistent. You have to be consistent. You can't show up this week and probably show up in the next 3 months again. You have to be very consistent when it comes to building your career, when it comes to learning new things, showing up and all of that. You have to be very consistent and you have to be prayerful. I'm somebody that believes so much in prayers. So if you believe in prayers as well, please pray. It's very important. Be very prayerful as well. Let's move forward. Okay, so framework, practical tips. Write your North Star goal. What does North Star goal mean? What does um writing your North Star goal mean? I know that like a lot of people don't know what North Star goal is. Your North Star goal is your big picture. It's like your long-term guiding intention. Think of it as the deep why behind your career choices. They are not short-term tasks like get a job or learn Figma. They are the core outcome of lifestyle you want your career to support. Take for example, a good example of a North Star goal could be, I want to work on a product. I want to work on products that empower women in underrepresented communities. That could be like your North Star goal, more like your long-term goal, right? Or take for example, I want the freedom to work remotely and travel with my family. Or I want to become a lead designer so I can mentor junior talents, right? Your North Star goal is the compass that helps you to say yes to the right things and no to the wrong ones. It's not just about the titles, it's more about the kind of life you're designing for yourself. Does that make sense? So that's like your North Star goal. Um, that's the number one tip. So by writing down your North Star goal, which is more like your long term goal, it will help you know exactly where you're going and how to design for where you're going. The second one is plan by season, not forever. So unlike writing the long-term goal, so you've written out the long-term goal now, you know exactly where you're going and what you want to do or like what you want to achieve with your career. The next thing you want to do is plan by season, not like long term, right? So you want to know, okay, because this is where I'm going, this is my long-term goal. What do I want to do this quarter to be able to get there? Once I know what I want to do this quarter, mm, maybe this quarter I want to show up more so that I can people can know me more and I can become a voice for underrepresented women in communities, right? So you're able to say, this month I want to learn more about how to show up on LinkedIn. This week I want to post 5 times in a week. Does that make sense? So you're planning by the season, you're planning little by little so that you're able to get there. Not like, oh, you just say, I want to do this, and you're not planning step by step how to get there. So once you write out your long-term goal, it's time to start planning step by step, planning by the season. Then choose direction over speed. Like I said, once you know where you're going and what you want your career to look like, and what you want to represent, you are able to go in that direction. Because if you're going with speed in the wrong direction, it's still not speed, right? You're just going in the wrong direction. You still have to turn back and go in the right direction. Okay, So let's move to the next slide. Being selective. You have to be very selective. Once you know where you're going, you have to be very selective once you know where you're going. You have to be very selective. You have to learn to say no. We're still going to get to learning to say no in a bit. I said no to internships that don't align. I've walked away from projects that were good on paper but wrong in the spirit. I mean, there are some projects that will come your way, and your spirit, it's just not, you just don't feel comfortable with it. It just feels like something is wrong, right? So you have to learn to be very selective. And every time I did these things, I created space for better things. So this is also one thing you need to learn, being selective. Once you know where you're going, you're able to select the right opportunities and the right things that align with it. Being intentional is not about being slow, trust me. Being intentional is not about being slow. It is about being clear, knowing exactly where you're going. So, like I said before, we're going to get to um, how to say no and the discipline of saying no. Saying no is hard. We all know saying no is hard, but it is one of the most important design tools in your career. You have to learn to say no to things that don't align with where you have, envisioned yourself to be. Saying no protects your energy. As hard as it might be to say no to some opportunities that seem shiny, it protects your energy because you're not throwing your energy into the wrong things. Um, it tells the world what you are available for and what you're not. Trust me, this would tell people, this would make people even know the kind of things they would bring to you and the kind of things they would not. Every time you say no to the wrong thing, you make room for the right thing. Make Saying no to the wrong thing will give you more energy to work on the right things, and you're able to move faster and swifter that way. So let's talk about designing a sustainable career. Take take breaks on purpose. To build a sustainable career, you have to learn to take breaks. You have to learn to take breaks. I mean, there is this glorification that we give hustling and just constantly being on the move and all of that. You have to learn to take breaks if you want to build a sustainable career, because I mean, if you break down, there is no way you'll be able to continue building your career. So you have to learn to take breaks. It might be hard for, I mean, people in our field. Being a techie, you're seeing everything are moving really fast. There is the AI, there is the VR, there is the AR and everything. It just feels like there is a lot for you to learn and a lot for you to catch up with. But trust me, you have to learn to take breaks on purpose. Like, create time to take breaks. If not, you're going to break down and you will not be able to move as fast as you want to. Learn in season. Just like I said before, plan in season, also learn in season. No, okay, this month, this is what I want to focus on and learn. I would have probably, if this was like an interactive session, I would have said, oh, how many of us here have like started a course and not completed it? A lot of us do that a lot. You just see this thing and you really want to learn it, and you start it, and then you see something else and you start it. It just feels like you're just starting courses little by little and little everywhere, and you never get to that point that you're able to really sit down and focus on one thing at a time. So learn in season, learn to take it one step at a time. This month I want to learn and focus on this particular topic. Next month, this is what I want to learn and focus on. That way you're able to move faster, learn faster, and build faster in your career. Protect your curiosity. Like I said, there is noise everywhere, and if you're just starting your UX career, you're curious about a lot of things. There is a lot of things that you're curious about, which is a very good thing. But the more you get into the field, you can almost get overwhelmed by a lot of noise that is happening. And also, protect your curiosity. Make sure that you keep that curiosity, because that's the only way you get to learn constantly. If you lose your curiosity to learn, then you stop growing. So protect that curiosity to constantly learn. And like I always say, I don't think anybody can get to that place where they feel like, oh, now I know it all. This is tech, you can never know it all. New technologies are coming in every day. Things are moving swift, like fast, almost like the speed of lightning, right? So protect your curiosity so that you're constantly able to learn new things at every point. Create think time, right? How to You need to create routines as well to be able to build a sustainable career. How do you do this? Create think time. What does that mean? Create time for you to think, sit down, reflect, and think. Like I said before, things are moving fast. There is deadlines everywhere that you have to meet up to. There are talks that you want to attend to be able to grow. But as much as you're creating time to rest, you want to create time to think and reflect as well. Like we said before, you need to plan. So ask yourself, the things that I plan to do this month, was I able to do it? Was I able to achieve it? If no, what are the things that stopped me from achieving these things? What can I do better so that next month is not like this month? So be very intentional about creating think time. Like I said, things can get very busy. The pressure is much from work, from clients, from even family. Sometimes you have to just be there for a lot of things, but you have to intentionally create that think time to be able to reflect on not even your career now, even life itself, so that you're just not on the go every time. Create that think time to reflect, know what is not working, know what is working, because that's the only way you can grow. That's the only way you can grow. Another routine you should have is reflect monthly. Like I said, ask yourself, what are the things that I said I was going to achieve this month? Was I able to achieve it? What stopped me from achieving these things? Then you're able to know the things that stopped you, and you know how to deal with it the coming month, so that you don't have the same story month after month, month after month. Unplug when needed. Unplug means also resting. Stay away from the noise. If you want to stay away from probably social media or stuff like that, just to clear your brain and your head, and be energized again, right? So unplug when needed. It is also very important. Okay, so you don't need to burn out to prove you're passionate. Trust me, you don't need to burn out. A lot of us are here that it almost feels like you have to do this, you have to do that, and that drive to be productive is always there. And then at the end of the day, you realize that you're burning out, right? So you don't need to burn out to prove you're passionate about the career or the field. Rest is a part of the plan. Rest is a part of the plan, and if you're able to rest, you become more energized to work again. So create that rest time in your plan and all of that. Moving forward, in conclusion, we've come to the conclusion of today's talk. In conclusion, take a moment and think and reflect right now while we're on the call. What does your intentional UX career look like? That career that you want to build for yourself, what does it look like? What do you want this next season to feel like? Where do you want to be? What are the things you want to achieve? What When they think about your name, what should be the first thing that would come to anybody's head, right? These are things I need you to think about. This would help you know exactly where you're going and also plan for it. So you don't have to move fast. You have to move with intention. You need to know this. You don't have to move fast. You have to move with intention. The more you move with intention, the more you get to where you're going on time, right? And design isn't just about interface. It's about people. It's about choices and experiences, like we know. Your career is one of the most important things you would ever design, so do it with your heart. Thank you so much for having me, and I think I'm done with today's talk. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah.
Goodness, I think we lost you. Oh,
Can
you're
you hear me?
yes, you're back.
Okay, yes. So, like I said, thank you for having me. So, yeah, I'm done with today's talk. So, I think we can start taking questions now.
Awesome. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for this awesome talk.
Yeah, it's quite inspiring, and I see that we already have plenty of questions. It means that it's not only us that found it very interesting and inspiring, but yeah, our attendees too. So yeah, if you don't have any additional notes, maybe we can start with the questions.
Go ahead. We
All
have
right.
plenty.
So the first question, also the most popular one, was asking how do you show up without sounding like a spam or AI, or even how to share what you're doing when you're under NDA. How do you plan what to say? It's like especially
Sorry,
the you didn't
I
hear
didn't get
me?
the question. Sorry.
Okay. So I think it's more like, yeah, when you have ambitions and intentions and when you reach out to people, then it might also sounds like, yeah, like when you show up, it can sound like you're AI or like a spam. And how would you avoid it? And there are also certain cases that maybe you share your portfolio or your work, but your work is under NDA. So then basically how would you overcome these obstacles?
Oh, okay. So, the first one, can you hear me? Okay, so the first, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
So, I'm going to answer the first question that says when you show up, you sounding like AI and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I always say this: when you want to show up and you want to talk about a topic, talk about it exactly how you know it. That's the trick to it. Like, if you just learned something and there is something that stood out for you in that particular thing, or take for example, you just learned how to use components or like variables and all of that, talk about maybe how it made your work go smoothly. Talk about the things that, oh, I didn't know this could work before, but after trying it, this was what I realized and all of that. Talk about it exactly how you know it, and you won't sound like AI.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So you won't sound like AI, you sound like a real human that is trying to communicate, because now this is real for you. And I always say that if you're learning every day, you would always have something to post and something to show up with. And I mean, it's very important for us to become 1% better every day. So that 1% that you're learning to become better at, share it exactly how you know it. And that's what people are actually looking for, that human connection, because you would be so surprised. I think there was a time I posted about imposter syndrome, and I was so surprised to the number of people that could relate to it. Because
Hmm.
I mean, I didn't know a lot of people struggle with imposter syndrome that much. But when I posted about it, people were like, "Oh my god, I also struggle with imposter syndrome and all of this." So just be vulnerable. This is not to say that you should put your whole life on social media, but in a professional way, things that you're learning in your profession, you can always share it how you know it. Then to the NDA part, again, this is why I said learn how to say no to things that don't align with what you want. I don't say yes to projects that will drain my energy and I don't get paid well for it, especially with the NDA. Because I mean, if it has NDA, that means I can't post it on my portfolio, right? Except it's like
Hmm.
live and all of that. So create that time to create your own project. Most of the work that I post on LinkedIn or on all of my social media, most of my designs are personal designs that I have created. This is a way I can get more clients without the whole NDA struggle.
Hmm.
So create time to have your own design, and this would even help you without the constraint of, oh, this is the color we want you to use, this is what we want exactly. You are able to create freely on your own without reviews and all of that. You can make things fly if you want it to fly. You can, prototype it anyhow you want it to be, right? So create time to have your own personal designs. I think that's what I can say for the NDA part. Create your own personal designs and post it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one personal question about it. So I often see that like people share their own work, they just come up with a case and then design for it. But those projects often lacks important part, which is stakeholder management or cross disciplinary collaboration. So then do you maybe have some tips when it comes to that kind of project? It's like self-initiated, your designs or your like design problem that you identified and you posted. How we can maybe emphasize how we would maybe like do collaboration if it was a real like project with a real business case.
Okay. I think what I have to say about that from my own personal experience is for hiring managers for clients, most of the time what they really look out for um, is your problem solving skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
How able to approach and solve problems. And for like my mentees, especially for people that don't have the privilege to get internship or work under like a manager and all of that, I tell them look for like a problem around you, and if there is a way you can create designs that solve this, then go ahead. The most important thing is your problem solving skills. When you get in a company, you learn the whole how to work with a manager and all of that. That's not something you can learn without being there, right? It's not something you have control over. But
Mm-hmm.
one that you have control over, then do it, right? If you have like 4 to 5 case study of you solving a problem, a company would be willing to take a bet on you, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And in your presentation, you mentioned a roadmap of your career or that we can create it. So someone, I guess, really liked the idea, and that person was also asking maybe if we could see an example or maybe get a template to create our own career roadmap.
Okay, so I don't have a template for it. I don't have a template for it. So when I started out in my career, I always say I was privileged enough to have a lot of senior designers around me. So the first thing I did is ask questions, how can I get a job in this career? Like, what are the things I need to do to get to where I'm going? Once they told me the things I needed to do, I took a pen and a paper. Um, to get an internship, you need a portfolio. To get a standout portfolio, you need about 2 to 3 case studies, right? And
Hmm.
then probably UI screens. So I broke it down. To get my portfolio done, I give myself like 3 months to get my portfolio done, which is like 1 case study per month, and then maybe like 2 UI screens and all of that, right? Then after the third month, I started applying for internships, which I got after the third month, right? Then after the internship, I started applying for like freelance projects and all. I got a few before I finally got my full-time role. I got my full-time role 8 months into UX design, right? And I always say that number one is because of God, God's grace, and then secondly because I was able to plan for it and put in the work. So that's why I'm saying that if you're planning the long term goal, you have to plan like short term goal, because if you're not careful, you get overwhelmed and you don't do the things you said you're going to do. So just know what it takes to get to where you're going, because my own journey is different from your own journey or where you're going.
Hmm.
So one thing I would advise is know exactly what success looks like for where you're going, and do the research of things you need to do to get there. That way you are able to plan based on your time. I didn't have a full-time job when I was planning my career, so I was able to have enough time to do a lot of things. You might have a full-time job, so my own roadmap might not work for you. Do you understand? So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that is clear. You mentioned that, of course, like, yeah, you're sharing your experience and it could be different from others, and everyone has their own unique experience. But I think when we are in this phase, we cannot stop ourselves from comparing ourselves with others. So do you
Mm-hmm.
maybe have some tips for it? Because it's not only, yeah, do the work, get your portfolio ready, put some, I don't know, like a nice screenshots of your designs and everything. So this is like one part of it. Maybe take some physical and mental effort, but it's also kind of like an emotional situation. You feel vulnerable. You feel like everyone else is doing so great. So do you maybe have some tips for that?
You can get a mentor. You can get somebody that will help you in your journey and maybe help you draft out like a roadmap based off of your own personal experience or your time, your energy, what you're working on presently. That would help. Yeah, that would help. Look for somebody that is already in the field and can help you. Probably schedule a call, a 30-minute call, a 1 hour call to, get the person know exactly where you're at and where you're going. This person will be able to give you strategic advice on how to get to where you're going fast and without a lot of challenges. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, about again the process of basically building your own career. One of like someone from our audience asked, I feel overwhelmed and paralyzed with where to start, like so many courses, YouTube videos, etc. So how can I work out what to start on when what exactly I should learn?
That's a lot. Honestly, that's a lot. So I think know what you want to learn part time, because again there are loads of materials out there. So know what you want to learn part time. I think there was a time I was in an interview when I was starting out, and the interviewer was asking me if I know how to use design system. Trust me, that was the first time I was hearing about design system. I didn't know what design system meant or anything like that. So after the call, I had to go and learn what design system means, right? There's just a lot out there, and if you're not careful you feel overwhelmed. So at that point in time I knew that what the sole thing that I wanted to learn was design system. I learned it, then okay, what else can I also learn? So pick topics, learn with topics, and not the entire big thing on its own. You can take, like, my recommendation when it comes to taking a UX course is Google UX course. So take Google UX course first. Once you're done with that, if there is like any topic that you feel like you want to know more about, pick it by topic. Typeface, you learn typeface. Variant and variables, component variants and variables, learn that. Design system, learn. Colors, learn. Just once you take a course, just focus on finishing a course. Finish that course. Just pick one, finish it, then you can
One
now
step
start
at a
learning
time.
by topics. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like, yeah, most important thing is also like get into action. Like, don't
Hmm.
overthink, just start with something. And of course, this journey can take a lot of time, or at least some time. Maybe you have a plan in your mind, but the world doesn't stop, it's changing. So this question is about it. So this person is asking, I feel like everything in the industry is changing on a daily or weekly basis. How can I prepare for long-term goals when I can only predict a few months ahead?
Okay. So, like I said before, your long term goal is not, I want to learn Figma. That's like a short term goal, right? Your long term goal could be, I want to build a life, or like I want to build a sustainable life where I am able to travel around with my family, right? Or your long term goal could be, I want to be a voice in the female UX industry for underrepresented women, right? That does not change. Figma can change. We can move to AI, we can move to XR, but that's your long-term goal. Does not stop you from being a voice in the UX industry for females, right? So the only thing you need to do is now know okay, what's that thing that I need to learn right now to be able to have that voice? Do you understand?
Mhm.
That's one thing you need to learn. Okay, now it's AI everywhere. I need to understand how AI works. Next year, it might not be AI again, it might be VR, right? That time, you might want to learn more about VR. But that does not affect technology, does not affect your long-term goal. It can only affect
Mhm.
your short-term goal to get to where you're going.
Mhm. Yeah. No, I understand. But there is always a but. And then another perspective that could be potential challenge dealing with uncertainties. So what about the uncertain party is us. So this question is about that. The person is asking, I sometimes feel overwhelmed and unsure about switching my domain to UX. How do I truly know if I am on the right path? So another uncertainty that we also uncertain.
I think that's a personal thing you need to sit down with and know if this is what you want to do. So I'm going to cite a personal example. When I was going to, switch career from being a baker to a UX designer, it took me months. I started learning UX design, I think, early 2021, around March. I didn't make the full switch until December 2021. And as at the time I was making the full switch, I was sure that this is what I wanted to do, right? And was it scary? Yes, because my baking career was doing pretty well. I was making money, and I had to pause it to focus on UX design. It was a choice I was intentional about making. So it's very personal to you. It's something you have to be sure about. And again, when I was switching, I always say this. I told myself it is either I make it or I make it in tech. There was no going back. There was no going back for me. So you have to be sure. No one can answer that question for you. It's a personal
Mhm.
thing.
It's not in the list of questions, but I just my personal curiosity. Like, what was it? Just you wake up one day and then yes, I'm gonna be a UX designer. So how did
Okay.
you get got this idea?
Okay, so first things first, like I said, I was scared that, I was not tech savvy in any way to say that, oh, I think I'm going to make it in this field. So I've been taking courses little by little, and one thing is I had successful people in the UX field around me. So I
Mhm.
asked questions about how to make it in this field to be sure that, is this something that is I can actually venture into. And the second thing is I prayed. Like I said, I was somebody that believes so much in prayers. So I prayed, and I was sure. I had the nudge in my spirit that okay, this is a place I can go and I will succeed in. So yeah.
Okay. Interesting as how it happened. I was also wondering, maybe you also felt a bit intimidated, but there's one person mentioning that I saw that a junior UXer role, a person who has PhD and postdoc degrees was hired. How do we stay realistic and motivated when the market is so competitive and sparse? Maybe it was also like a feeling that you had because you didn't had a formal education in design. You didn't, I don't know, particularly study it in bachelor's. So yeah, do you have any advice for this person?
Okay, so one thing is sure, especially for a creative field, you would always get intimidated by, people's design, people creativity. I mean, there are sometimes I just finish designing something in Figma and I feel like, oh my god, this design is so good. And you come online and you see someone else design just flying around, and you're like, no, I don't think I've done a great work. So there is always that part of feeling intimidated by other people's work, and feeling like maybe you're not there yet. But one thing I would always say is show up regardless. Show up
Mhm.
regardless. Post your design regardless. Apply regardless. And like I said before, take a full course, then start learning bit by bit on topics. Once you do this, it's built your confidence because now you know that you know a lot of things and you're doing a lot of things correctly. And you can also get a mentor to, check in on that as well. That would build your confidence. And one thing I always say is, people have different design direction. So what's maybe you're designing for a client that is not pleased with your work. It doesn't mean that your design is not good. It just means that it doesn't like the direction in which you're taking the design. So don't personalize feedback. I think that's one way a lot of people feel like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Don't pass. What they are criticizing is the design, not you. So the question should be, how can I make this better? Because I have the ability to make it better. No, know that for sure that you have the ability to be a good designer. Once that is settled, it's now the question of how can I make this better? And yeah, that's just it. Show up regardless, apply regardless. Yeah. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, you did.
Definitely, definitely.
Do
And
you have any questions, Svetlina?
it was great. It was a lot of questions. Thank you everyone for interacting with us and being so sorry. And we are at the end of our event today, right on time, even with some technical difficulties. And I just want to tell you all, please follow us, Ladies the 2X Amsterdam. You can find all of our links right here. Follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram. Get into our community group on LinkedIn as well. Follow us for all of the events coming up. We have also one event on the 10th of June. The QR code is right there. Please sign up for it. There is not a lot of seats left. So go and be quick about it.
Hurry up.
Hurry up. And because today's event is a collaboration with Ladies the 2X Lisbon, definitely follow them as well. And I want to give a special shout, a new QR code up there once again. It's a very nice workshop that you can get 15% discount for. So definitely follow Ladies the 2X Lisbon and send them a message if you want more information on that. And on that note, goodness, maybe you can share with us where people can follow you. How can they maybe get in touch with you, perhaps for some mentorship?
Okay. So yeah, you can definitely follow me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. So yeah, you send in your messages. I'm always happy to respond to it. And yeah, I'll definitely create time.
Nice. Great. Well, we'll definitely keep in touch with you and follow you as well. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great
Yeah.
weekend.
Thanks a lot. Have a nice weekend.
Bye.
Bye bye.